Hey guys, welcome to our live for members only for the JB Ray Vintage channel membership. So we're gonna talk a little bit about what to do when things get slow, how to revamp things, how to like change things up and get things going, because you know we all gotta eat.
Yeah.
And we have done this full time for 4 years, and we have 5 kids, and they all want to eat. And when we first got started, there was no like savings account or cushion or anything. We had to make ends meet. So there's a lot of different things that we had to do. So I'm gonna let Zeb get started because this was his bag.
So one of the things we did when we first got started, we had tons of custom work because Jamie was worried about feeding the kids when we first started out. And there were definitely some skinny months, but custom work got us going. But once we got that kind of down to a system, we knew what we were going to charge people. That actually stayed pretty consistent even through the other months. But what happened was sometimes, like let's say back to school is a little slow around here in our area.
When people get their credit card bill, that first like statement period, they're like, oh, I spent that much on back to school, and then there's like a tightening of the purse strings. But there are some things you can do. So in January, when things slow down, we like to do organizing things. So we try to sell things that help people get organized. January, cleaning, those types of things. Spring usually tends to be pretty busy because people are getting tax returns. And the beginning of summer is pretty busy. People are excited, especially here in Utah, because it's starting to warm up and they're decorating and entertaining, so we can sell that. And then June happens and nothing is going on. And there's a few things. One, you can have a sale. So mark down things that you need to get rid of.
We did that, and we actually had a pretty good month in the
The
shop
last
this month.
few weeks were good. We had probably the biggest check we've had in a long time, and that's because we had a sale. And here's the thing, my options were repaint it to maybe make it look new or mark it down. So we marked down a bunch of stuff. And then another thing you can do is take stuff out and bring stuff in and redo the space, because you always want something new. The longer stuff sits like in your space, people kind of think, well, if nobody else wants it.
Yeah, if they've been to your shop 3, 4, 5 times and all the same stuff's still in there, it's not exciting anymore. And they've already passed on it so many times. They're going to keep passing on it unless like you mark it down and you make it irresistible.
Yeah, so changing things up is really good, and making it a point, like when things slow down, I make it a point to do more posts about all of the things that I have available for sale, more live videos. Like I have to make like a concerted effort. When it's flying off the shelves, you just sit back and just enjoy it. But when things get slow, you have to get down to the nitty gritty. And it's one of the things that we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, especially while we're waiting on our house to close, because we've got a few weeks here where we're kind of in limbo before we can really get started on anything with a house. So what you're going to probably see is more posts of things that are for sale in my space. And one of the things I like to do is take pictures of my retail space, not just individual items, and then I'll take like 10 good pictures of the things I have for sale. And if you don't have a booth, you could just do a bunch of pictures of all the things that you currently have for sale. Then do one post for all of those things in Facebook Marketplace, and I'll usually type like farmhouse, antique, vintage, dresser, buffet, and hutch, because those that's what I put as the title. And then in the description, I'll say, you know, just some little blurb about the shop, the address, the shop hours, the phone number. And a lot of times when people are searching for certain things, they'll see, oh my goodness, look at all of the stuff that this person has available. Because sometimes somebody's searching for one thing, but then they see that there's a lot more to be had, and that gets them in the door and looking at things maybe they weren't originally searching for. And it also sets it apart from every other picture that's in Marketplace, because most of those are just like one item that's for sale. Yeah. So it gets a lot of interest.
Plus people like a bundled deal. They want to, it's like looking through a catalog. They want to look at all the things. And if you put it all in one place for them, it's easy.
Yeah.
They don't want to go searching 18 times. Well, I don't want to say they. I don't want to do 18 internet searches to find the one specific thing I'm looking for and then you throw stuff in there that they may not have been looking for, but that is similar, and that also works too.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that we do is that when I not only post in Marketplace, but I'll post in multiple yard sale groups. And you want to get like the best pictures of your space you can. So when you're using your phone, make sure you watch our video about taking good pictures, but you know, you might have to crouch down to get the right angle. Use Snapseed. I know we did a video on that for our members to edit your photos and just really entice people to get into the store. That's like a really great way. And the more you do that, the more you post, the more foot traffic you're going to get either in your store or if they're buying from your home or however it is that you sell. Another thing that I like to do is go live so if there's groups that will allow you to go live, like buy, sell, trade groups that allow you to go live in them, I do that. So I'm an admin of a group and
so we get to go live.
So I get to go live because I'm an admin. It's a local home decor yard sale, and it's not like everybody can do it because only admins are allowed to do it, but I take that privilege and I go live in my space in that group. So that way I can just promote that and market that out there. And I make sure that when I am posting from week to week that I'm getting new angles and different pictures, because there are a lot of regulars that will like your stuff and be like, oh, there's nothing new, and then just scroll past. But if you're always making it look new and fresh, then you're giving them a reason to contact you, to come in, whatever.
So another thing you can do is, well, and this is especially something that we like to do just for fun sometimes, is let's say things are slow. What is going to set you apart from everybody else in your area doing furniture, flipping furniture? One of the things we first started doing was Jamie wanted to sell appliques. We started putting appliques on our furniture, and we started taking the molds, the cast. If you watched our video from Waste Not Wednesday, I showed you how to do like a repair making a mold. Well, we would go around and find old furniture and take the castings or the molds off of those, and then we would put them on our furniture. Two things happened. That set our furniture apart and made it look a lot different, kind of jazzed it up, but it also gave us something to sell that no one in the area was doing. So find something like that in your area, find that thing that's missing in your market, whatever it is, and make that, do that for a little while. Even if you're not gonna do it long term, it'll usually get you over that slow hump and get people back excited about what you're doing and more interaction on all your other posts and things.
You're gonna ride that wave until it goes away. And everybody's market's gonna be a little bit different. And you can kind of search and see what other people are doing to try to like set yourself apart from that. But most importantly, you may have a group of people that like what you have, but then somebody else is in front. There's a new bright and shiny thing, so you just want to get in front of them. Giveaways are another great thing. If you've got like a social media following, it's always a good way to, a good thing to do a giveaway. We actually had a few days that were, I don't know if I should tell them this secret, but we had a few days that were slow on the website, and I was like, what am I going to do to like increase interest? I mean, I know it's just that time of year. People are thinking about other things. It's not that they don't want to buy the DIY products or whatever we have to sell. It's just that they're not thinking about it. So I did a giveaway in the Facebook group and on my YouTube page, where I asked people to share their favorite products. So it wasn't me saying, hey, you should buy this because it's amazing. Because obviously I think it's amazing because I sell it. It was other people saying, these are my favorite products that I can get at JamieRayVintage.com. And I wound up giving away something, but what I gained in sales more than made up for what I gave away in the giveaway. So that's always something that's really fun. It does two things. You're giving back to the community that helps support you, and it also increases engagement and gets people excited about whatever it is that you happen to be selling.
Also, if you have a market that's coming up and they ask people for like freebies for giveaways, participate in that too, because that also helps, because then you get multiple people sharing your item or your page or whatever it is.
Another thing to keep in mind that I find is when things are getting slow, like on social media, like I need to boost engagement, I just take a few minutes to sit down and I will like take like a pen and paper and I'll just write all the things I'm thinking about, like things that are going on in my life. And like it usually winds up being about a half a sheet of paper, and then I'll hone in on like what are some things that I think that I could share with other people that maybe they're going through too, because really connecting with people is one of the best ways to market yourself, because people want to support people that are like them. And the reality is that we're all like each other. So write things down, find ways to connect with them, and then put that on social media. It doesn't always have to be, every post does not have to be about buy this, buy this, buy this. You want to include posts that help engage people and make them want to connect with you on a personal level.
Jamie likes to take pictures of me and Jack. If you saw today's post on Instagram or Facebook, it was Jack and I. I did not know that the picture was being taken. Otherwise, I would have smiled.
It was a candid photo.
We were very focused. We were watching a video on how to do a hip roof and frame that in. And Jack is like, man, he's gonna do some building, and he's there right there with me. But post things like that that are about your life, that are exciting and that people can relate to, and it'll take off all on its own.
Well, and the post was 100% true. Like, I was sitting there on the couch like, what the heck am I going to post? I don't have time to paint anything. We've got a lot of different things going on. And I knew we were going to go to IKEA today and do that video. And so I was like, well, I don't want to post something at IKEA. And I just looked over and life was happening in front of me. And I just thought, that's a great thing to share. And it actually got, so we're talking about when things get slow, like, you know, selling wise, but also when things get slow on your social media, sometimes you got to like, put some life into your Facebook or your Instagram or your YouTube, and that's a great way to do that, by just sharing whatever it is that's going on. And the things and the feelings that I put in the post are absolutely the way that I felt at that moment about what was going on. And I usually try not to hold a lot back.
What do you mean usually try? I feel like you try to, like you have to try to hold back.
Yeah. Tony says, when did you start marketing for the Christmas season? I usually start marketing for the Christmas season about the middle of November.
This year we started early November.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I would have to say beginning of November. Now, retailers will tell you, like the big box stores will start already probably like August, September. I don't like to do that. I usually will start the beginning of November. So
if you start that early, the problem you run into, especially with like a boutique type setting,
your stuff clashes.
Your stuff is gonna clash, but they're gonna buy all the stuff. Then what do you do in December when it actually is slow and that's the only thing selling?
Yeah, so I usually start with my Christmas beginning of November, and I'll start Halloween type stuff usually when back to school happens. And then Thanksgiving happens sometime in like September.
So another thing that we did while Jamie's looking for questions there, when we first started, I did not make farm tables or build any custom furniture. We were just refinishing furniture and doing some custom pieces to sell on Marketplace all on our own that we had. And once we started building the farm tables, it gave us that extra kind of revenue stream, kind of like I said, something to set you apart. There weren't a ton of people building farm tables when I started, and especially not building them with like the lathe. And not everybody's going to have the lathe, but you can do a straight leg farm table with like 4x4s or 2x2s screwed together, or 2x4s screwed together. There's a lot of different ways you can build them. And I'm not saying go out and you have to build farm tables, but something like that along those lines. If you do like signs or a fancy thing that's different, I'm back at my make something different thing. But
are you talking about when you started turning the legs for them? Knuckle maker's different.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get out of your comfort zone sometimes and try new things. We're going to be learning lots about saws, and I fully expect all of you guys to, we have several comments. I'm afraid of saws. You can't be afraid of the saw. You got to go get it.
Okay. Gonna get back to your questions. Do you have a rule about how many times a day you post on Facebook, Instagram? I try to post at least once a day, and if I'm going to post multiple times, I do it 2 to 4 hours apart, and that's about it. There's way more than that can be involved, but I try to keep it simple. And if I don't post on a weekend, I'm okay with that. Like, it's okay to take time away. I don't always post on Saturday and Sunday.
I feel like if you take if you don't go away for too long, if you just a day or two, it kind of gets people hungry for it again, and they're waiting for that post when you post.
I've noticed you're changing up your style by adding grays and blacks. What prompted this change? So, like I said before, changing things up and coming up with different ideas is a great way to increase traffic and revenue, because you're getting new blood and new design ideas. And I like to mix the grays and the blacks with the things that I did before, so people can see how they all kind of go together. And also, I just like to change things up and stretch myself design-wise. If you're always a one-trick, is it a one-trick pony?
Yep.
Okay, I was to make sure I said the right thing. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. You want to have a bunch of different things that you can do that helps get people excited. What do you think of starting a Facebook group for booth space and skip the Facebook page? I would do both. So have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. If you want to use the group for listings because it's a little bit easier to have all the information in there, that's totally a good idea. I've actually thought about doing that many times, having a Jamie Ray Vintage sell group where I just put all the items I have for sale, but I just haven't had time. But it's definitely a great idea because you're going to reach different people through a group than you are through a page. I get different engagement on my page than I do from a group, so definitely something to keep in mind. Do I post on all social media pages on the same day? I usually start on Instagram and I put my post in there and then I copy it and then I go to Facebook. I don't do directly from Instagram because that'll tank your post. And then I'll paste it in Facebook and I get rid of all the hashtags because Facebook doesn't like them. And then I post on Facebook and then sometimes I'll post it on community and YouTube too. But there, you have different people. Just because you have people that follow you across all the platforms doesn't mean they're going to see the same post. Because each social media platform, they only push it out to so many followers. So chances are somebody might follow you on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and they're only going to see one of the 3 things that you put up because all those social medias are like filtering who is and isn't seeing it in their feed. So never be afraid to just repost it. Jenna was talking about shipping. So I don't ship bigger items, small items. I use flat rate boxes. And I ship through USPS mostly because that's the least expensive and I don't have any better options other than that. When I've shipped furniture, U-Ship is always a great option, but it is more expensive. I wish I had yeah, you, and then ship. I wish I had a better thing to tell you about shipping, but it is expensive. And the more you do it, the better you get at knowing what's cheaper. I do have to say though that you want to sign up with like Stamps.com or I ship through Shopify. That's my web host, and we do get discounts. And the more you ship or the higher your plan is, the more discounts you'll get. So
yeah.
Laura says, I'm a very late bloomer for this business and the furniture I would like to buy is too heavy for me.
Oh.
So yeah, don't kill yourself. One of the things I think sells very well and is not super heavy is chairs.
Yeah, for sure.
They're kind of a pain to paint by hand, but I've painted many of them. But chairs are easy enough to lift and load in a car, and they usually sell really well for me. So that might be something to consider.
Well, a lot of people are doing mismatched chairs, like colors and everything. Like the chair doesn't even have to match. So if you paint, let's say you paint a set of 6 chairs and you kind of do fun colors on them and things, in our area, that is desirable. People don't want matching chairs around their table these days. So it's really easy to sell them if we just kind of make a group and make them kind of a theme, or bright colors or something like that, or like shades of blue work well, and then out the door they go.
Yeah, so somebody asked me if the succulents sell well. They have been life-changing, but I've probably sold like 4 or 5 succulent arrangements in my space. And like I said, I wanted to try them out because I know they're popular and it gives me something new. If people know that they can come to my space to find succulents in unique thrifted items like this crystal glass with this tarnished silver trim here is what we put.
Yeah, we paid $1 for that one and $2 for this one.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, like you could just plant succulents in pots that you get at the store, just like everybody else, but then how are you different from Home Depot or Costco? You're just somebody putting a succulent in a pot. Well, they do that too, and they probably do it cheaper. So our little spin on it has been to plant succulents in items that are found. That way people are getting like a found vintage item and something, you know, planted all in one. So
we've thrown a lot of stuff at the wall just trying to make the ends meet, and we stick with what sells the best. I think we've mentioned that before too, a few videos ago, but it's very sound advice. Don't get stuck doing just one thing. Keep changing it up and doing things until you find what makes you the most money and is the easiest to do.
Yeah. That you enjoy, not necessarily the easiest, but that you enjoy.
When you got to make 800 signs for a market, make the easiest sign.
Not too shabby, and that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. Patty wants to know if she should just sell on her personal page or have a business page. I think you should always have a business page. It costs no money to have it. It doesn't have to be fancy. You can use apps like Typorama to help come up with some sort of logo situation. Just put your name in there, make a banner. It's not super complicated. And what you can do is when you sell on, and I am shameless. I've done this many times. When I buy things on Facebook, When I sell things on Facebook, I'll say, hey, if I'm buying something, I'll send a link and say, hey, just so you know, this is what I do. Here's my page in case you're interested. I don't do it as much anymore because I'm super, super busy. But when I was starting out and I was scrappy, I would share my page to the people I bought stuff from so they could see what it turned into. And if anybody bought furniture from me, I'd be like, hey, if you want to see more things that I have for sale, here's my Facebook page. And I would send them the link either via, and I would not just tell them about it when they picked up the furniture, but I would actually send them the link via text or private message on Facebook. And then inevitably some of them would follow me and they would start to see my pieces, and that's how I grew a name for myself. And I told and linked anybody and everybody I could to my business page and asked my friends, you know, hey, if you know, would you like to follow my page, blah, blah, blah. But I know it sounds like annoying to do this, but that's what we had to do. I don't think, and I try not to be overbearing. I don't post like a million times a day. I tried to keep it, you know, to a minimum, but I was not above asking people to please like my page.
Yeah. Well, and so back to what Jamie was saying about telling people about it. So let's say we bought a piece from someone. We're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. If you want to follow along, see what we do with the piece, you can check it out here. And a lot of times the people would like the piece better and would buy it back from us for the price we were asking after we had refinished it.
Yeah,
it's like double dipping.
There's people that gave me furniture for free, and after they saw it, they were like, "Oh, I want to buy that back," and they totally would. So, and I did a lot of custom work too. Like Zeb said, when people started really liking my finishing, I really, in the slow times, would book a lot of custom work. Question: do you give out business cards when you sell a piece of your home? Heck yes!
Business cards are like candy around here at the parade.
We make it rain.
We give them 3 or 4. Give some to your friends.
So when we sold from our home, we actually kept like a little business card holder with all of our business cards by the front door. So when people left with furniture, it'd be like, oh, and here's our card if you need us for something else. Or if you, and sometimes I'd hand them 2 or 3 and be like, if you've got friends that like this kind of furniture or need something custom painted, this is when we did custom work, you know, give them a card. And I got tons of business from handing cards out. So definitely, I know it's a little bit old school, but I like it.
So I don't know if you mentioned this. Something we did on Facebook was we would take one or maybe a couple of our best pieces that we loved that we had done, and we would post that picture and be like, hey, we take custom work. If you like this piece, hit us up.
Yeah, for sure. And I would put that in my post. Like, if you like this work, but this isn't exactly what you want, you've got something, I can make it look the same. We got booked so far out. We were like 6 to 7 months out on custom work. And that wasn't because we were only doing 1 or 2 pieces a month. That was because we were doing like 10 custom pieces a month and we physically couldn't do anymore. And we were booked out.
I would say like 10 pieces a week.
Yeah, probably. And we were booked out at that rate. We were booked out 6 to 7 months because we just word of mouth and we took really good care of our customers. So. And
then it got so busy we couldn't take custom work anymore. We had to stop.
So definitely, when things get slow, that's when you start hustling. And I feel like there's a way to hustle without being obnoxious. I think sometimes people are like in your face about it, and that's why I said, like, I think it's important to mix up some of your posts on your business page to add some things that are a little bit more personal, so that way it's not all like sell, sell, sell. So don't be afraid to try new things, market yourself like crazy, have a sale, and don't be afraid to post real life to get engagement on your social media. I think that about sums it up.
Yep, that wraps it up.
All right, guys. Love you all. We'll get this edited. All right, bye, guys.
See ya. Thanks for watching.